All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We got a 5-gamer here, but more importantly, I'm back filling in for Title. He covered for me Monday. I'm covering for him today. That's the things we like to do around here, help each other out, build the winners, and get to the winner's circle, right, at the end of the night. Like our guy Hoop, coming off the night shipper out there in the MLB streets. Nothing better than Hoop. I mean, the dude just loves to go to bed and wake up in that first place on the DraftKings leaderboard. That's exactly what he did. Our guy Shaloob, shout out to Shaloob, my boy. Man, you've come a long way, brother. Multiple 5-figure, 6-figure hits all season long in the MLB streets. And I still think back to the early parts of the MLB season, sending me DMs. It was the same in hockey. Didn't really dabble in MLB or NHL streets for DFS too frequently. Sent me some messages and kind of got the land of the lay, and now he's shipping tournaments left and right. He's coming off a 100K shipper last night in the MLB main slate. Looking forward to keep that going. But hey, Gyiraszin, it's your birthday boy Gyiraszin on the show here. We got the birthday takes from our guy Gyiraszin. Plenty of nooners are going to be flowing, I'm sure. Plenty of safety meetings already have happened, I'm sure. Hey, maybe you hit some 8 irons and some 56-degree wedges like we were talking about at the old course there. What's going on, brother? Happy birthday. How are we doing?
Man, doing good. 53. So made it this far, doing pretty good. But yeah, you're right. I went to it's just like my day today. I woke up, got up normal time. I'm like, you know what? I'll keep my phone on if work wants to call or something. But I'm gonna go have the Scott day today. So I went and got the truck washed, and then I went out to the PXG store for golf is like an hour away from my house. So I had to drive all the way out there. As I was telling you, I walked in, it's like, hook me up with a driver, man. I got to have me a new driver for my birthday. So going to be excited when I get that here. They got to ship it to me. That's like, jerking your chain a little bit. You got to wait like a week to get your fucking birthday present. But hey, I'm not bitching. That's a good one. But so I hit one of those clubs I was telling you, Nades. I just smashed the shit out of that PXG driver. It was forgiving. I was just crushing them right down the middle. I was like, damn. I kept looking at it like, is this thing real? Like, what is this thing? And I got TaylorMade. I had TaylorMades drivers that, I don't know, they're maybe 5-6 years old. But so definitely needed me a driver. But I went to the dispensary today, Nades. They hooked me up for my birthday. All the people that love me when I go in there had a good time. Got me some top shelf deli flour. Well, I was pretty excited about that. Got this orange soda stuff. It's Orange Bomb, it's called. Man, that stuff is top notch, Nades. I can't lie. It's really good. Tastes good. Tastes orange. It's just really good. I can't complain. But yeah, hey, a lot of shippers last night. Hoop goes to bed. He don't even care anymore. He just goes to bed at like 9 o'clock, and then wakes up early in the morning and saw his shipper in there. I believe he had some Pirates in there too with some Astros. But a lot of the tournaments I saw were Astros and Mariners with Kyle Riley. That was the winning ticket, and Rondon, and we saw him in the winner's circle. So a lot of what we talked about, I saw a lot of good screenshots in our MLB Discord this morning, which is always cool. So hey, we're rolling. We're kicking ass. The only complaint I have, it's like 51 degrees. Come on, Mother Nature. It's almost fucking June now. Let's get it going. I mean, this hockey jersey is pretty much the attire you need today out here, Nades. I mean, damn, like it's supposed to be June. It's like this is like the end of April kind of shit we got going. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not much better here in Wisconsin, but obviously Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota all have pretty similar weather. Illinois, right, this time of the year. And yeah, unfortunately, I got a golf tournament this weekend, so hopefully the weather cooperates there. Can't stand playing in freezing cold weather, and then it's been like 20-mile-an-hour winds too, which is just like double whammy. No fun there. Sounds like Gyiraszin had quite the day so far. Looking forward to keeping it rolling. And yeah, Hoop loves those old night slates because guess what? Those night slates usually lock at about 8:38 Eastern time, 8:40 Eastern time, and or Central time, excuse me, in the old Lord's time zone, as our guy DGen says, right? And he's in bed by 9, so he locks in, uploads his CSV, does his little pre-night routine, and wakes up to 5 figures in his old pocket there. I mean, nobody does it better than Hoop. He's sitting there probably building his lineups on the old lawnmower, right? As the old lawn care. We talk about golf. He's got his course looking like a nice tip-top shape golf course up there in Michigan. So shout out to Hoop, shout out to Schloob, shout out to all the other winners in the Discord. Let's see if we can do that.
Goodbye, Dr. Fisher. You gone. I got control. I banned his ass. Get out of here. You want to talk shit.
I didn't even see the comment, but hey.
You get the gong boot. If you're gonna be bringing some negativity around here, just get your ass on out of here. We don't care. Ghost man, you're going to be next.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, they're here for baseball. Let's give them baseball. I mean, there's so many games to talk about.
There's 5 damn games we're going to talk about. We can mix in a little bit of fun. That's what we do. We have fun around here. We still print fun coupons, but we have a little fun around here. We have personalities. We're not just robots. That's what we do.
Right. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's 8 minutes into the show. There's 6 games or 5 games to talk about. It's not going to take us an hour, but hey, some people have rough days out there. We never know what people are going through. So nonetheless, appreciate him tuning in, giving us that extra view. So appreciate that. But Gyiraszin, let's go ahead and do it. Let's jump into the slate here. I'm not sure why. Is this Mets and White Sox game? Was this flexed to the main slate? Because I'm showing it in Sabre right now, and I didn't see any sort of alerts with this game getting flexed into the main. Yeah, so the main slate is just 5 games. So let me go ahead and take these guys out of here. I got the dry run here up on the screen. And you see right there, right? Matthew Boyd, surprise, surprise, gets the Rockies at home in favorable pitching conditions again in Wrigley Field. And then you got Hunter Green is kind of the whole pitching point, realistically talking point of the slate. Pitching, I mean, this is kind of a slate. I think you can pretty much do whatever you want. 5 games, right? Everything, it's Matthew Boyd and then anybody else, right? Boyd's, again, 95% of dry run in 150 teams. He's getting pushed in there. He's probably going to come in smaller field, single entry stuff. I mean, 70 to 80%, I would guess. Large field MME right around that 60% mark. Let's just do the entire pitching pool as a whole. I'll throw it over to you. Definitely hit number 1 on what you're going to do with Matthew Boyd. Are you locking him in? Are you playing him? Are you fading him, etc.? You got Clark Schmidt, kind of the second highest owned pitcher on the slate, and then George Kirby right there. Those are kind of the 3 guys. And then Hunter Green all the way up at the top. There is some slight weather concern with Hunter Green in there. Kansas City, Roth has it tagged as yellow. Think it should be okay, but there's always a chance for an in-game delay when it is sitting at that yellow tag. And we know in-game delays are definitely never good for pitchers in general, right? Extended delays, typically they run to the bullpen after that. What are you doing in terms of pitching? Just hit on the entire slate for me.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really too many pitchers that I really even like, to be truthful. You mentioned that Reds and Royals game definitely has a couple guys we'd be interested in with Green and Cameron. Cameron's been coming through pretty good for us here in recent times, but definitely like the way he's been looking. So, I mean, we got to keep our eyes on that. Both of those pitchers. George Kirby, to me, I mean, his second start, he looked like shit last time out. He had he had 4 Ks, 72 pitches, 5 earned runs. Didn't look all that good. I think he gave up a couple homers too. Nope, didn't give up a homer. But yeah, I mean, Kirby didn't look all that good. Nationals really don't really have too many strikeouts in that lineup early either. So, I mean, just kind of looking up here, I mean, for me, I think Matthew Boyd above 8K is pretty much the guy that I think is going to be fairly chalky, rightfully so. He's been looking fairly well. He gets a puke-ass Colorado team. Boyd's last start, he didn't fare all well, but gave up 4 earned runs. His walks have been pretty low. Hasn't really been walking anybody. Last start, he only had 3 Ks, but the times before that, 8 Ks, 7 Ks. So I think that's about what we should expect out of him. So, I mean, Matthew Boyd is looking like he's probably going to be an SP1. But like I said, if we can keep our eyeballs on that Kansas City-Cincinnati game, I think we'd be in decent shape if we can add them guys into it. So, I mean, really, just down below, looking at some of these guys, Clark Schmidt, I think is somebody that, we could possibly look at. It's, Schmidt, 24% K rate. I just don't like that walk rate. His walk rate's really not been looking good. But, he's had a couple decent games here in recent times with the strikeouts. Last game, he did have 8 Ks against a Colorado team, which we know isn't that great, but he's got almost 25% K rate to righties. Angels have a pretty high strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. 6 high strikeout righties that I see here looking at the projected lineup. So, yeah, I think Schmidt could be definitely in play today. I do like him. You got Kikuchi. Kikuchi is just, he's just a guy that can be tough to read sometimes. I think one of the last times out, we were just talking about playing Kikuchi. I believe we did against Miami. Yeah, actually. So he went 110 pitches. His strikeout rate is anywhere between 4 and 7. But what are we looking at here? He's staring down the New York Yankees, which is, not something that we want to do. So I think Yankees are going to be a team that is going to be targeted with the bats. I mean, you want to go super cheap? You can look at like Williams, Lauer, Gordon. I couldn't look at Gordon. I don't even think I could do Lauer. Trevor Williams. I mean, that might make you want to puke inside your mouth. But for me, Clark Schmidt, maybe some Boyd is where I think I'd be living today. Maybe if you want to throw in some Williams against a Seattle team who's been hitting the ball. But for me, I like Schmidt and Boyd. I think those are 2 guys I play. I'd lay caution into Kirby. I'd like to see it before I buy into him. He definitely struggled coming last time start off that injury. So I do see Kirby percentages a little higher, owner percentages than I kind of thought. So I'm just kind of looking at that like, that's still an unknown to me. I'm just going to leave that be. But Cincinnati, Kansas City game, that's going to depend. I think it could start in a delay is what they're kind of saying. So if that's the case, it'd be better off than them starting and getting in, 3 innings into it and maybe, 45 minutes, an hour into it and then having a delay. But for me, I'd pretty much just be looking at Boyd and Schmidt.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said. I will touch on the Cincinnati-Kansas City Royal game real quick because both those pitchers are going to get played. I like both of them in that game. Ross says it starts dry. Rain chances increase the longer the game goes. So, again, likely for an in-game delay. I think due to the nature of the pitching slate, I think even if this game goes 5 innings dry, right, the first half, 4.5, 5 innings dry, I think both these guys, right, Cameron and Green, can do enough with these rosters, with this lineup, to get some upside there. So I'm not really worried about the overall game too much. It's just the nature of the slate. Shout out to our guy Kenny talking about our guy, big guy in the big sky, right? DGen75, rest in peace, my guy up there. But he did a Q&A on his OG YouTube channel. Talking golf, and Kenny says there's a lot of good stuff. That dude was just loaded with knowledge in terms of game theory, in terms of teaching. He was a teacher at heart, right? Wanted to teach the community, and obviously his content did that. He took the content industry and kind of flipped it on its head and restructured the way people do content, and he loved doing it, right? So a lot of good nuggets you can pull from watching him over the years there. So shout out to Kenny. And definitely give that video a look if you want some good memories. Not only that, but just want to get some more nuggets, right, to put in your toolkit there. So for me, pitching, I'm with you. I'm full fading George Kirby. I think there's 9 projected lefties in this lineup for the Nationals. Nationals isn't a very good offense by any means. I get it. It's a huge pitcher's ballpark there. One of the best in all of baseball. But looking at George Kirby, he's coming back right off the IL. With that many lefties, I don't think I need to play that game. And especially at that price point. I would much rather probably play a guy like Tyler Mahle, who's been, this dude has just been skating by disaster all year, but he's been putting good outings. I'd rather take a stab on him over George Kirby personally myself. For me, it's really a 4-pitcher slate. It's Matthew Boyd, SP1 on the slate. My second favorite pitcher is Clark Schmidt, right below him at 7,700. I like those two guys a lot. I know it's probably going to be the chalk pairing. You can get different in terms of bats. I'm not really worried about it too much. I like both of those guys. And then I like both the guys at the top, Hunter Green and Noah Cameron. Those are kind of my 4 favorite pitchers on this slate. Kikuchi, what I will say about Kikuchi is, number one, Kikuchi is always a guy, especially on a short slate, you want to keep in your pool. There's games where he's going to go off and he's going to roll 6 to 8 strikeouts and he's going to put up a good big score, right? 20-plus DraftKings points. And those games there, he's going to go out there and start walking dudes and get tagged for a home run or two and probably not break 10 DraftKings points, right? He always has that floor-ceiling combination. Definition of GPP play there. I will say the Yankees are worse overall versus lefties. Kikuchi has pitched really good versus this Yankees team. He's got a 31% K rate against this current projected Yankees lineup in 85 plate appearances, expected batting average at 218. So he has fared pretty good. Yankees again struggled. Our guy Tyler Anderson, right, went out and threw another, skated by disaster again, another lefty against this Yankees team. They are built to smash right-handed pitching with all of their lefties that they do have. Obviously, they still have Goldschmidt and Judge. I understand that. They still have a really good lineup in general. But in tournaments at this projected ownership, right around 10%, I don't mind taking a stab on Kikuchi. You know, if he's pitching well, he's going to have the pitch count. He's going to go 100+. So he would be the 5th option I would look at. I have no interest in Williams, Gordon, or Lauer down at the bottom. So I'm with you there. Really 5 guys that I'm looking at, really centered around Matthew Boyd, as everybody is, Clark Schmidt, and then I think my sleeper in tournaments is definitely Kikuchi, which feels pretty gross. But him and Cameron both seem to be the 2 sleeper options that I'm in on, both projected right around that 10% mark or so. Gyiraszin, any additional pitcher takes that you want to throw in before we jump in? I'll share the stone and we'll go game by game and talk about it.
Yeah, no, like you said, I think it's pretty narrow today what our choices are. So we're going to have to get a little bit different in the bats. But yeah, those low end pitching options are super risky. But hey, I mean, if you want to build up like a Cubs or Yankees lineup, you might have to make some really uncomfortable pitching decisions. But hey, I mean, there could be nothing wrong with that. You might be able to get enough points. I don't see any pitchers really, Nades, that are going to blow up the slate, right? Like, I don't think that's the case. So, I mean, if you're going to take a chance on some low ends like Trevor Williams, something like that, I mean, I feel more comfortable doing it on a slate like today than, you know, if we had a couple dudes, 3 or 4 dudes up top that are A pitchers in the 30% strikeout range, which we don't have today. So, you know, I don't mind doing that. I mean, probably today is the day that, you know, the handful of pitchers you may want to play that could even be viable. And hey, build your lineup if you like and see what you got left for some pitching. And, you know, if you got to bend a little bit in some spots to fit in what you need, like you said, you could go with if you don't want to go Yankees, you could go with a Kikuchi. I think, you know, obviously I think Yankees are going to get a lot of ownership. I mean, his ground balls have been down a little bit. He's been getting the ball up too much in the air, that being Kikuchi. I think, you know, with that ISO and everything, Judge is sitting there staring at him, and Goldschmidt are going to be top plays on the slate. But hey, I mean, it's baseball. Anything could happen. But yeah, definitely interesting one. We got a short 5 game here. FanDuel is a little different. I think they're an hour earlier, and they have 6 games. They actually had 7, but that Philly Atlanta game got bounced. But 7:40 over there on DK, and we might have that one start in a delay from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, and that's the first game. So excellent points that you brought there. First game on the slate is the lone weather game of the DraftKings slate that we're mainly focused on, which does start at 6:40. So it is a little later start than normal, right? Typically, we're looking at about a 30-minute or so earlier start time. Not the case here. So first game on the slate, Reds and the Royals. Noah Cameron, Hunter Green. We talked about both these pitchers enough. Ellie coming off the double bomb last night, 6,200. I know I slandered him quite a bit on the show, just at that price point. Naturally, he goes on and hits 2 home runs. For this one, I really don't like any of these offenses in this spot, really. Hunter Green is always susceptible to some hard contact just due to the nature and velocity that he throws at. especially his fastball. He can give up a home run or two, but realistically, I just don't think you need to attack Hunter Green on this small slate, despite the projected ownership, everything on that. And Cameron ranks really good in our pitcher rankings. I don't like playing the Reds against left-handed pitching in general. Tons of strikeouts there. I'm pretty much full fade in this game for bats. What do you see here, though?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If the Royals had a little more power from the left side, I mean, Green does give up pretty high fly ball rate, 44% fly ball rate to lefties. But, I mean, the strikeouts are there for Green. Cameron's been looking decent here. I mean, I don't like to play the Royals to begin with. And like you mentioned, I like to stay away from the Reds when we got a lefty. I think Cameron's going to end up being one of the better MLB lefties as he moves on here in his career. This kid's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he got some good stuff. He's got a plus matchup here. I think it's a pretty good spot. If you were to pick anyone off against Hunter Green, it would just be some lefties for me. The fly ball lefties for the Royals, which would be Vinny P. Obviously Michael Massey. Those two guys I think are fine. Outside of that, I really don't have any interest. Naturally, Cal Isbell or Drew Waters will hit a bomb because they always do when the Royals do nothing. It's usually those cheap guys at the back half that hit a solo home run or whatever. But I like Hunter Green a ton. No Royals interest for me, like I alluded to. Our guy Kenny asked if we like small slates. Gyiraszin, I'll throw it over to you. I'll hit on it real quick after that. But what's your take on the small slates? Do you enjoy them? How do you scale your bankroll? What's your kind of take leading into a slate like tonight where there is only 5 games? Seems to be pretty concentrated, especially in terms of pitching, in terms of stacks, right? It's kind of the Cubs, Yankees, and Matthew Boyd, and figure it out from there. What's your take on that?
You know, more and more I'm talking myself into when you got slates like 5, 6 games, you know, and I think what's happening is I almost want to start just doing kind of like a hybrid lineup where I'm maybe only stacking one team and then throwing in some high upside home run type, maybe hot hitter type guys into my lineups, because then you don't have to nail the 2 stacks. Because if there isn't 2 teams that totally go off, you know, maybe you cherry pick a Kyle Riley last night, or maybe you get somebody who hit 2 homers at a different position and you get the 1 stack that does go off. So, you know, I think in games to where it's a shorter slate, I'm more apt to think about maybe just stacking one team and throwing in maybe a 2-man stack with 2 other one-offs, or, you know, or something along those lines. I'm more open to it than I am in a big 10 or 11 game slate where I believe there's a bit more chances for teams to go off. And then you're going to have those stacks as, you know, for the most part. So when there's short slates, I think I'm more open to, you know, not stacking as much. So I think that's a difference for me. But, you know, some people are, I mean, it's just like anything, like, you know, playing cards, playing poker, blackjack, anything else. Everybody's got their spots and they know what they like to do. I think this is where I just open it up a little bit more, especially when you're, you know, we're not looking at any kind of 11 game total. Every game's pretty much 8 and 8.5, except that Kansas City Cincinnati is 7.5. So we don't even have a 9 total. So, you know, I mean, to me, I think maybe, you know, look at the one team you like and stack, and then maybe throw some hot hitters, like I said, or guys that have, you know, double dong potential, you know, who could definitely hit a couple home runs tonight, you know, and obviously guys that maybe are higher up in lineups, you know, because you get that fit that bat, whatever else. But yeah, I think that's the difference for me, Nate.
Yeah, we saw it with Hoop last night on a short slate. On the night slate, I think it was a 4-game slate, right? Night slate or 3-game slate. He won with a 4-3-1. So maybe just expanding those stacks a little bit into like 4-3-1s, 4-2-2s, something like that. I still think you want at least 4 guys from one team. Personally, myself, is just how I like to build teams, because there is going to be one team on the slate that you're going to need, and you want to have as much of that team as possible. Obviously, you can max out at 5. But maybe for a sake of an example, just from a roster construction standpoint, right? You go to the Yankees here and you look at Anthony Volpe, right, at shortstop, 4,500, projected to be 20+% owned. We have him right around 17, smaller field stuff, higher stakes like what Kenny plays in. The Yankees are going to be the chalk of the slate, so naturally people are just going to go in and throw their 5-hole hitter, Anthony Volpe, at a shortstop position. Maybe you leave Volpe off the Yankee stack and you go to a guy like Dansby Swanson, right, on the Cubs, who's a little bit more expensive, not a great lineup position. He's at home, not as great hitting environment. Something, just little things like that, right? I think is just a way to be unique on a shorter slate without finding that diamond in the rough, right? Because you can go out and find that diamond in the rough, that 2% guy that hits 2 home runs. And yeah, is it going to help you get to all the way to the top of leaderboards? Absolutely. But do you need him to actually cash and be profitable and even have a shot at the top? Most likely not, right? And even if you do nail that guy, you probably don't have the rest of the stuff that you need around it, right? So just little roster construction thing like that is kind of what I like to do. Look at the stack in general and look at other guys in the similar price point, right? The Rangers going to be very, very popular, obviously, tonight because they're facing Eric Lauer. They get Corey Seager back, right? Well, Corey Seager is $4,900. He's the same price as Dansby Swanson. He's $400 more than Volpe, right? So playing around with guys like that, throwing in a Bo Bichette for a little bit cheaper than all of them, bat leadoff, right, against Male, full nining in at bats. He has stolen base upside, right? Or playing a value, right? You know, so many people are going to be in that $4,500 to $4,900 range. Shortstop with Seager, Dansby Swanson, and Volpe. Well, maybe you go below them, and right, and you play Ezekiel Tovar, who's been one of the best hitters since he's come back, right? And he's facing the chalk pitcher on the slate, right? So just little things like that. It's not saying I'm going in and I'm stacking 5-man stacking the Rockies, right? Because Matthew Boyd's going to be 90% owned, and especially in high stakes, right, smaller field stuff. And I'm just going to leverage everybody completely. The chances of a 5-man Rocky stack on this slate winning is far less than just making a simple roster construction, leaving one of those $4,500, $4,900 shortstops off of your stack, adding in a cheap guy like Ezekiel Tovar with upside. That's little things like that is how I approach these smaller slates. Hopefully that helps the people out there in the comments for everyone who's hey, hurry up and get to the baseball talk. We'll talk through some game theory there to help you out as well. Let's jump to the next game here. It is the Cubs at home facing Tanner Gordon here, Tanner Gordon looks like he has somewhat of a pulse. I mean, this was their number one prospect in the Rockies, right? Pitching prospect. Just sucks that he's kind of held within this organization. But hey, how do you get out of that organization fast, Gyiraszin? Well, you pitch your tail off and you get a nice fat contract. You get a bunch of money flashed in front of your face from a team like the Dodgers, the Mets, etc. Right, and that's how you escape that organization quickly. However, it is still the Cubs. It's another talking point every single time we talk about the Cubs. We got to talk about the weather. It's not a great hitting environment here in Wrigley Field. It's cold. Temperatures in the low 50s. Some slight wind blown in. Not really wind to even worry about. So it's not like there's a bunch of wind blown in. It's just pretty much cold in general. Slight wind kind of blowing in there. But again, really bad bullpen behind Tanner Gordon. What are you going to do here with this Cubs offense on a short slate here? And then any Rockies interest for you against the clear SP1 on the entire slate for pretty much everyone?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Rockies. I mean, you want to try to play some Rockies bats against Boyd, who has been prone to give up some home runs. I mean, his fly ball percentage to righties up 32% So, Tovar back at the top, Doyle, I think would be interesting. Beck is 33% fly ball, Doyle 31, Taglia at 30. Maybe something like that on a short slate. I would probably only do some one-offs if you want to look at something like that. But I mean, obviously you're doing that for the leverage you're going to get off of Boyd. But I mean, these Cubs on the other side against Gordon, as you mentioned, I mean, his strikeout percentage could be a little better. He's at like 17% both sides of the ball. He doesn't really walk anybody. His does have some ground ball lean over to the right side, which is interesting. But I mean, you got guys like Tucker, who's been absolutely hitting the shit out of a baseball. Suzuki's been hitting the shit out of the baseball. PCA's been, just absolutely on fire. I just think this Cubs lineup is just too good. That Rocky bullpen sucks. I mean, I think the Cubs are one of the top stacks here today for me. I mean, I'd probably put them and the Yankees probably in a tier by themselves. We'll get to the Yankees next, but yeah, I think the Cubs, especially, I mean, the Cubs are scoring a lot of runs. They're scoring them in bunches. They're having big innings. That lineup's looking good. So for me, I think the Cubs are definitely a play, but especially from the left side, Kyle Tucker is just, he's looking real good today.
Yeah, what I will say too is I'm just pulling up some stolen bases. These are the type of slates too where I like to look at stolen base numbers right? Because there's so much upside there in stolen bases. Gordon's already given up in 2 games, 2 stolen bases on the year in the majors. And the Cubs will run, right? They're second. They got the second most stolen bases in the league, I think, still. Happ will run, Tucker will run, Suzuki, Crow Armstrong will run for sure every time he's on. Swanson and Horner down there at the bottom of that lineup. Like I talked about Swanson earlier, Nico Horner at a second base position, and Hill will run too. So $4,300 seems like a lot to pay for Nico Horner hitting 8th if he stays in that lineup spot. But with stolen base upside, I mean, he gets a single, that's 3 points. Steal second, that's 8 points right there, right? You're on your way to the poor man's home run, right? Gets on again, gets walked, right? You're looking at 10 points and another steal, that's 15, right? There's your home run. So I like that quite a bit. I'm with you. Cubs, probably I much prefer the Cubs overall to the Yankees. So if I'm taking a stand between the two, I prefer the Cubs more for full stacking. I think here overall, just even at these price points and the ownership, I just think the Yankees are going to come in higher owned because they do have cheaper bats overall at the back half. And I'm looking at the Rockies bullpen usage right now. Kinley's thrown 51 pitches in the last 3. Mia has thrown 38 pitches. Hergert has thrown 31 pitches, 24-23. They've only had one guy in this bullpen that has less than 20 pitches in the last 3 games, and he threw 8 yesterday, 5 the day before that. So very taxed bullpen, not a good bullpen by any means, and you can steal on Gordon. I think there's some baked-in upside there with the Cubs. I like them a lot. What I will say on the Rockies side is I think Tovar is a good play. I think Goodman and Beck. I think those top 3 guys at their projected ownership, they all rank really good in our hitter rankings. They hit left-handed pitching really, really good, and you're getting double leverage on the field. I don't think I'm 5-man stacking. 5-man stack, I wouldn't even include them. But 2-man stacks, 3-man stacks, I think it's interesting. We saw Hoop ship last night, all right? I keep referring to it. He had a 4-man Pirate stack on a short slate against Corbin Burns, right? But guess what? You got bullpens for majority of the game here. Even if Boyd goes 6 innings, you have 3 innings of a shitty bullpen and a tax bullpen at that of the Cubs bullpen behind Matthew Boyd here. And you always have upside there. So many times, all it takes is one inning, right, for these teams to go off. Multiple times you look at these scores, right, teams that are putting up 10-plus runs, they have a 6 or 7 or an 8 spot in 1 inning, right? Majority of their scoring does come from 1 inning. And that can happen in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning real easy there. So I like the 3 at the top. I like all the Cubs a lot, obviously. And I prefer the Cubs to the Yankees personally myself. Next game on the slate here, Rangers and the Blue Jays. Rangers probably are the chalk offense of the slate. The reason being is these price points and shiny new toy. Corey Seager's back here, which helps this lineup tremendously. Jake Berger's been really good, like I said, since he came back from AAA. Higashioka down there at a catcher at 2,600. He's got a ton of power for pretty much the stone minimum. You can wrap it around to the top to guys like Wyatt Langford, who's been one of the best hitters all season. Josh Young at 3,800 at a weak third base position. I like the Rangers quite a bit here. They're going to be pretty popular. I'm not really too worried about it. Eric Lauer is nothing to be scared of. On the Blue Jays side, I just hate attacking Tyler Mahle. I've tried it all season. It has not worked out here. I don't love it. I mean, Dalton Varsho, sure, is a one-off. I mean, he's been great all season. And then you got Ernie Clement, Barger down there at the bottom as 2 value bats. Outside of that, really not too interested here. What are you doing in Texas here?
I do agree with you on Texas. I like Texas, especially with their salaries. You mentioned Lauer. I mean, I like the righties. I mean, he does have a little bit higher than the average to righties as far as strikeouts go. That you're looking at, he's at 25.6%. His walk rate's a little higher though, almost 9%, almost double righties to lefties so far this year. But his fly ball rate's up at 50% so far this year to righties. So, I mean, if he's going to get the ball up in the air, I mean, these Rangers definitely can do some damage with Langford, Jung, Berger, Garcia. I think are all in play. Even Semien is somebody that I'd look at here. Toronto bullpen about middle of the pack. But, yeah, I think the salaries you can get these Rangers, I really like the righties. I think the righties are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like it a ton. Rangers, I really like the wraparound stack again on the Rangers here. Don't sleep on Corey Seager. Lefty. The dude can hit left-handed pitching. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. I get it. It's his first game back. But even this year at home, 15 plate appearances. He's got a 498 ISO against left-handed pitching. Lauer's no lefty to be scared of, right? So I'm in on the full Ranger stack. And then Blue Jays, like I alluded to earlier, I mean, Varsho would probably be the only guy I'd look at. Bo Bichette. Outside of that, really not too interested, personally myself. Next game on the slate, Angels and the Yankees. Clark Schmidt, Kikuchi on the hill. I like both these pitchers a little bit. Yankees, definitely a talking point. Probably going to be, I mean, between them and the Cubs, Yankees are definitely picking up more ownership if you were picking between the two, just due to the full 9 inning at-bats, better hitting environment in Los Angeles, or in Anaheim, I should say, and the worst bullpen by far in all of baseball in the Angels. So, again, they kind of got shut down by Tyler Anderson when we were talking yesterday. Gyiraszin. Now they get another lefty here who has put together quality starts, and then he always has the blow up that could be potential here. I'm a little bit under, personally, myself, on the Yankees. Like I said, I already talked about liking the Cubs over the Yankees personally, if picking between one of the two. What are you doing here in this game, though? Definitely a really good spot for sure on paper for the Yankees overall.
Yeah, I like the righties for the Yankees. That's for sure. I mean, Kikuchi's usually fairly decent against lefties, but Goldschmidt, Judge, Volpe, I think all those guys are in pretty good spots. I mean, you mentioned too that bullpen for the Angels just absolutely horrible, worst in baseball. So that's definitely a plus. I mean, you could see this game, 3-4 runs, given up by Kikuchi, and then all of a sudden the last 2 innings you could give up, 2 inning, 3 an inning. And all of a sudden that one just runs away from them. So definitely like the Yankees there, especially, we're getting that Angel Stadium's been yielding a ton of home runs too. So we're getting the Yankees in a 9th inning at bat. I think with the bad bullpen, I think that's why you're going to probably see the Yankees and Cubs are going to be the two. I mean, you'll see some Rangers too, but I think pretty much with those three, but the Yankees are going to probably be the payoff stack. I think you're going to see some people going after. I mean, and rightfully so. That Angel bullpen is just garbage. So, but yeah, I think they're in decent play now. As far as the Angels go, I mean, Schmidt's one of those guys where I kind of look at him like a Robbie Ray. The guy can't get blown up, and then he could come out and just look like he's just an absolute Cy Young award winner. But he hasn't been giving up the power to the righties. He's not been keeping the ball on the ground the right side either. So, I mean, they do have some power on that right side for the Angels. Ward, Neto, Chanel. I mean, Makata. I think you could play any of those guys here tonight. But Soler, even our D'Arnaud, I think you could go with the top 6 here. And Lugo's fairly cheap on the bottom too, if you wanted to stack against the Yankees. It's just tough. The bullpen's really good for the Yankees. But I mean, on a short game slate, I mean, the Angels definitely could get it done here tonight. So, like we said, a lot of home runs been hit out there in Anaheim, but definitely an interesting one. I think that the Angels I would call my low-owned stack just because Schmidt could get beat up, but the Angels my low-owned, and the Yankees would be one of my top stacks.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Looking at the Angels bullpen too, Eder, Neris, and Detmers threw 22, 24, and 22 pitches yesterday. Eder will be unavailable today. He's thrown 50 pitches in the last 3 days. Brogdon is throwing 39 pitches in the last 3 days. He didn't throw yesterday, but he threw 23 and 16 before that. So he might come in, but probably not. Neris threw 24 yesterday. They might go back-to-back with him. And then Detmers threw 22 yesterday. So, I mean, you're talking about a bad bullpen and a tax bullpen at that. I mean, you got guys that are coming up from AAA on contracts. I mean, a guy like Hunter Strickland, right? They signed with the organization on a minor league deal. He gave up 14 runs in 12 appearances in AAA. He's just pitching out of necessity. So tons of upside for sure for these Yankees. I prefer the Cubs personally, but I mean, you don't need me to tell you to play the Yankees in Anaheim when it's 70 degrees with 6 to 10 mile an hour winds blowing out the entire duration of the game as well. With that bullpen. So Yankees for sure. Obviously great plays. I don't love the Angels. I'm a little bit different than you. I actually probably prefer myself the Rockies top of the order over the Angels. I like Doyle, Goodman, Tovar, Beck over playing these Angels, but I get it. Good hitting environment. Clark Schmidt, the reason Clark Schmidt gets in trouble is because of his walks. He had 2 walks, 5 walks. if he can avoid that big walk, right, like the 5 walk that he had against the Mets, Angels are a much less disciplined team than what the Mets are overall by these strikeout rates. So I think that helps Clark Schmidt a little bit. Personally, I'm definitely more on the team of Clark Schmidt than the Angels there for me personally. But I get the reasoning there. Takes me to the last game of the slate here. Kirby Williams on the mound, Mariners and the Nationals here. I like this game in terms of bats overall on both sides. The park sucks in general, but Kirby's going to pick up a lot of ownership. You can steal bases on Kirby. And, I mean, this Nationals team, not only do they have 9 projected lefties in this lineup, they also will run a ton. And like I said, you can steal bases on Kirby there. So he's given up 24 stolen bases in the last 2 years. Abrams will run, Garcia will run, James Wood will run, Rosario will run if he's in there. Even Tena at the back half will run. I think there's some baked-in upside here, too. And then, obviously, you got Wood, who homered last night, mashes right-handed pitching. Abrams mashes right-handed pitching. You have some good power lefties in this lineup, and nobody's really going to play them. So I think Nationals are, overall, my favorite sneaky stack on the entire board with the stolen base upside built in.
Yeah, I like the Nats. As we mentioned, Kirby, 70 pitches, he gave up 5 earned runs in a start that he come off an injury. So, I mean, obviously, I would assume his confidence can't be all that great coming back from an injury and kind of getting beat up. I mean, he may just not be quite right yet. But getting out there, as you mentioned, I mean, Wood is one of the top 12 hitters in all of baseball in the last couple of weeks as well. As you mentioned, the young kid's been stealing bags, been hitting homers. I mean, he's looking to be a future all-star himself down there. Looks like they got them a gem down there. But I mean, Kirby was definitely somebody that we could get, especially from the left side. I mean, last year, obviously he only had the 1 start. We'll go back and look at last year. Kirby's fly ball percentage as a lefty, it was up at the 30% range, where compared to 23% to righties. Strikeout percentage a little lower actually to righties last year, 21 to 24%. But Wood's been hitting the ball pretty well. Abrams up there as well, top of the lineup. You got Ruiz you could look at. But, yeah, they're going to throw all kinds of lefties at Mr. Kirby today. So I don't mind them also as a sneaky stack, as you said. I think the Angels are in a pretty good spot as well, as you mentioned there. But that being too, I mean, like you said, we got 5 games. You're going to have to get a little bit different. So if you're going to take some shots on some teams that probably be low owned, yeah, I think for me, the Nats are definitely in play. As far as Seattle goes against Williams, I think Williams is, I just respect him where he's not going to really generally get blown up. But, I mean, Kyle Raleigh, highest fly ball percentage, pretty much at about 35%. Guy's been hitting the shit out of the baseball. He'd be somebody that I'd look at here against Williams. Maybe some Rowdy Tellez, but always Rowdy Tellez. Every time I think Rowdy Tellez, I think 2 at bats. He might get pinch hit for whatever else. So just always seems like seems to be the case when I play that guy. But he'd be a salary saver. You could definitely use tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Cal Raleigh's just too cheap. I mean, this dude's $1,000 too cheap. Personally, I get it. It's catcher. They don't want to price a catcher at $6,300. I understand it, but I mean, the dude deserves a $6K plus price point, right? I mean, he's right up where in home runs with Ohtani, Judge. I mean, all of them. And I mean, he hit 2 last night. If you can play Raleigh at a catcher position, by all means, play him. The Mariners are getting pretty popular overall, so. In this game overall, I actually prefer the National side. And what I like to see here too, Gyiraszin, is when you look at this, right? I got the dry run here up on the screen. I got it filtered by projected score. Watch Washington down here, right? Projected score, Seattle getting popular, right? They're getting slammed in projections. Why? Because they can easily 5-man stack, and then you can add in the Texas big bats and the Yankees big bats around them, right? But when I flip this to Saber score here, and I go – just filter by Saber score. I go small slate. Let's just do 50K plus, right? Look at where Washington jumps up to, right? They go from the bottom to the top, and that's with all the additional algorithms that Saber works on behind the scenes. So when I see that, I like to include them a lot. So that's kind of why it's getting me on Washington here. I know I'm not the only one that's going to see that. Obviously, I'm screen sharing it right now here, but that's just another kind of layer behind the onion is what I like to do with how to work an optimizer and see how a slate is shaping up with an optimizer. When I filter by Saber score and the Nationals and the Cubs jump up there, I like that because I already liked both of those stacks a lot coming in. And when you filter by projected score overall in terms of like cash game and just overall projections wise, which drives the industry in today's DFS landscape, you see the Cubs and Nationals way down here at the bottom, less than 10% in terms of overall stacks. When you flip it the other way, right, they're both at the top. I get it. It's leverage, et cetera. All that's built into it and stuff. But I still like the upside, like I talked to, like all of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. For me, I'm underweight on the Mariners overall. It would just be Polanco and Raleigh are the two guys I'd have interest in. Outside of that, I'm definitely going to be significantly underweight if this ownership stays true there. And I like the National side quite a bit against Kirby overall. That's all 5 games. I'm glad we didn't talk so much at the front of the show, so we could fit all these 5 games in within the hour. So there you go. We spent 39 minutes exactly talking on the games. We spent 8 minutes bullshitting and pissing off the chat. So I appreciate everyone sticking through that. Gyiraszin, pitchers. How do you want to do the summary here at the end? Because there is only 5. Let's just do 2 pitchers, 2 stacks, a more popular stack, a lower owned stack, like I said, a more popular pitcher, a lower owned pitcher, and then your home run call for the evening.
Yeah, I mean, pitching fairly simple. Schmidt and Boyd be a couple I look at, but I mean, we really got to look at that Cincinnati Kansas City game. If I can throw those 2 in, I think Hunter Green definitely is in play. Cameron's definitely in play, but I don't want to cross that one out. But then also too, I think as far as the stacks go, Cubs, Yankees, I think that's where we're looking. I do like the sneaky stack idea. As you said, I think Washington's growing on me a little bit there. I do like the Angels also a little bit too, as far as the sneaky stack. And as far as home run call, hey, I got one right yesterday. I got Walker right. And Nades, I had to crack up, dude. I was sitting there writing up the slate plan. And, we're told like there's like a separate sheet. You can do it all, and then you just transfer it to the main sheet. I'm old, man. That's like too much for me. So I do it in the main sheet so people like can watch when I'm typing it. And, sometimes you fuck up, make mistakes, misspell shit. I get people, hey, dude, you fucked that up. You spelled that wrong, whatever, sometimes. But somebody's like, I like the Arizona stack, right? So I was sitting there writing that in yesterday, and I had Walker in my brain. So I write, I like a Walker bomb in the Arizona line. And then somebody sent me a message, hey, Gyiraszin, what's up with Arizona? Well, who's Walker? And I was sitting there thinking, I started cracking up. I go, oh, he's not in the lineup. So I was cracking up. But he hit a home run for us as about 7 other Astros did last night. But worked out pretty well. Everybody had love seeing them screenshots. I mean, every week we get that, big tweet that goes out with all the winners on it. I mean, shit, we've been having 100K, a million. We've been, all kinds of big numbers here recent times. Love seeing them baseball big scores in those tweets. But yeah, let's stay hot. Let's have some fun. And don't worry about them 2 assholes that were in the chat. Everybody else is good. Everybody's always in here like to have fun. Poe Jen Stoner, Keith the Babe in here. Everybody likes to have fun. Kenny, we all have some good times in here. So, I mean, that's just the way we are. We all have a good time. We don't worry about those bums. That's why we give them the boot out of here. But let's stay hot tonight, ladies. Let's ship us some money. I need some birthday fun coupons. We need to have some fun.
Birthday fun coupons. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you. You gave out the 2 obvious ones in terms of stacks. I'll give the Rangers. I like the Rangers quite a bit. My low-owned pitcher is going to be Kikuchi against the Yankees. I talked about all the reasonings there. Yankees are worse, if there was a worse, against left-handed pitching. Just all the lefties are built for righties. Obviously, you have Judge, and I get it. But I think Kikuchi could do enough, right? He's pitched well against his team in his career. I think he can do enough at the slate, and not many people are going to play him there. So that's my low-owned guy. My favorite overall pitcher on the slate is Clark Schmidt. So I think going a little contrarian there, pairing those guys up. But the other low-owned guy, I think, is Noah Cameron. Personally, I like the double lefties, right? Cameron and Kikuchi. And then my home run call is going to the Rangers. It's the 9-hole hitter. It's Kyle Higashioka. Catcher position, 2,600. He's hitting a bomb here off of Eric Lauer. Hopefully he gets to see that lefty in there and mash one. Tons of power. Nobody's going to play him down at the last 9-hole spot when they're going to play Cal Raleigh up at the top for good reasons. I'll take the salary savings in Higashioka. That's all 5 games. Talked pitching, talked hitting, gave our summary at the end. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. Jay Steele, Yeezy, our guy Kenny, Keith of Vape. Another shout out to our guy Shalhoub and Hoop last night, and everybody else in the Discord posting the screenshots from yesterday's slate. Early slate's going on. Hopefully you got some nice sweats going on, and hopefully some shippers later. Screenshots to post in the old Discord. That's going to do it, though, for Gyiraszin. I'm Nades. Good luck tonight, everybody, in your contest. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.